Hello again, friends. It's me, Nox, your new evil spirit bestie. I'm so glad you came back to visit me. What? Oh, you came back for another story. All right, I suppose I can come up with something off the top of my head. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. Excitement crackled in the air as three teenagers, Riley, Lily, and Dominic, hiked deeper into Knockboom Creek. Laughter echoed through the trees, their backpacks laden with supplies for a weekend camping trip. They had been planning this adventure for months, eager to escape the confines of their small town and embrace the freedom of the wilderness.
This is gonna be epic, guys. We've been talking about this for so long.
A sense of adventure, however, was soon joined by an uneasy feeling. The forest grew darker, the shadows longer. As they ventured further into the woods, the light-hearted mood began to shift. The forest seemed to press in around them. The once welcoming trees now appeared as menacing guardians of a dark and ancient place.
It's getting kind of creepy, don't you think?
They set up camp near a whispering creek, its gentle sounds doing little to ease the growing tension. Riley, always the pragmatic one, busied himself with the tent while Lily gathered firewood. Dominic, usually the life of the party, couldn't shake off a feeling of unease that settled in the pit of his stomach.
I don't know, guys. Something feels off.
Just then, two other teens stumbled into the campsite.
Oh, hi there. Sorry, I'm Lewis and this is Clark.
Like the explorers?
Yes, haha, exactly. We thought it only fitting to go out exploring because of our names. And we like nature. We didn't mean to bother you. Have a good night.
The interaction had relieved the tension. Nightfall brought with it an oppressive darkness, the kind that seemed to cling to the very air they breathed. The crackling fire provided little comfort as strange noises emanated from the woods around them. Whispers seemed to slither through the undergrowth, and branches snapped with unnatural force. Fear, primal and instinctive, began to worm its way into their hearts.
Did you hear that? It's like something breathing.
Lily huddled closer to the fire, her eyes darting nervously into the darkness beyond the reach of the flames. Riley, attempting bravery, insisted it was just the wind and the settling of the forest floor. But even he couldn't ignore the feeling of eyes upon them, watching their every move from the impenetrable blackness. The hair on the back of his neck prickled with a chilling premonition.
It's just the wind, Lil. The forest is just settling. Nothing to worry about.
A low growl, barely audible but undeniably predatory, sent shivers down their spines.
Did you guys hear that growl? Something is out there. That was not the wind. I think it's circling us.
The next morning, a park ranger stumbled upon their campsite. He was a weathered man with eyes that seemed to hold the secrets of the forest. He spoke of the dangers of Knockboom Creek, of ancient legends and unexplained disappearances. He warned them to leave, his voice a gruff whisper that hinted at things better left undisturbed.
This land, she has teeth. She doesn't take kindly to strangers, especially not this deep in. Turn back while you still can. Some things are best left undisturbed. Hop on this path right here and just keep going. It will get you to where you need to be.
The teens, though unnerved by his words, dismissed him as an eccentric old man. They were young, invincible in their own minds, and the allure of adventure outweighed the unsettling warnings of a stranger.
He's just trying to scare us. We'll be fine.
Yeah, we've come this far. No turning back now.
Let's just be careful, okay?
Despite the ranger's eerie warnings, the teens pressed on. They reasoned that he was just trying to scare them, that there was a logical explanation for the strange noises and the oppressive atmosphere. They convinced themselves that fear was for the superstitious, not for them. They would conquer Knockboom Creek, not be cowed by whispers and shadows.
We're not gonna let some old stories scare us off.
They packed their gear, their movements quicker, more urgent now. The forest seemed to close in around them with each step, the sunlight struggling to penetrate the dense canopy above. A sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air, but they pushed it aside, focusing on the trail ahead.
We're just being silly, it's all in our heads.
They told themselves they were being silly, that the ranger's words were nothing more than tall tales meant to keep trespassers out.
Let's keep moving. We've got this.
They found another spot to camp for the night and pitched the tent. But when it came time to collect the firewood, no one wanted to go alone.
All right, let's all go then.
They agreed and set out. As dusk approached, they stumbled upon a clearing. In the fading light, they saw another campsite.
It looks eerily familiar.
It was eerily familiar, with a tent that mirrored their own and backpacks strewn haphazardly on the ground. Hope surged through them, the thought of other humans a beacon in the growing darkness.
Maybe someone here can explain what's been happening.
Perhaps they would find answers at this other campsite, someone who could explain the strange occurrences of the past day. They called out, their voices echoing through the stillness of the woods.
Hello? Is anyone there?
There was no reply, only the rustling of leaves and the distant cry of a night bird. The air hung heavy, thick with an unnatural silence that amplified the pounding of their hearts. Cautiously, they approached the campsite, their senses on high alert. Something felt wrong, terribly wrong. But as they drew closer, their blood ran cold. The campsite, though identical to theirs, was in ruins. The tent was ripped to shreds, belongings scattered and trampled.
Oh my god, look at that.
And then they saw them. 3 bodies lay sprawled on the forest floor, mangled and torn, their faces locked in expressions of pure terror.
Those are our backpacks.
Their backpacks, their clothes, it was their gear. Panic seized them. The bodies were theirs. Their own faces stared back at them, lifeless and contorted in a grotesque mockery of their former selves.
This isn't real. It can't be real.
The air grew thick with the metallic scent of blood, and the forest seemed to hold its breath, the silence broken only by their ragged gasps. This wasn't possible. It couldn't be. They were alive, standing right there, weren't they? They fled back to their own campsite, their minds reeling, their hearts pounding against their ribs like trapped birds. They barricaded themselves inside their tent, desperately trying to rationalize what they had seen.
Was it a hallucination? A trick of the light?
But deep down they knew the truth. They had stumbled into something ancient, something evil, and it was toying with them.
We can't stay here. We need to get out of these woods.
The forest around them came alive with the sounds of their pursuer. Branches snapped, leaves rustled, and a low growl seemed to emanate from the very air itself.
Did you hear that? It's getting closer.
They huddled together, their eyes wide with terror, their breaths coming in short, panicked gasps. The flimsy fabric of the tent offered little comfort, no barrier against the nightmare that was closing in. Suddenly, the tent flap ripped open. Standing there, silhouetted against the moonlight, was the park ranger. His face, once weathered and kind, was now twisted into a grotesque mask of malice. His eyes, once filled with concern, now burned with an unholy light. He smiled, and it was a smile that spoke of death and decay.
I warned you, this land, she has teeth, and tonight she hungers.
He stepped into the tent, and the temperature plummeted, the air growing thick with the stench of decay and the promise of oblivion.
Who are you? What do you want?
The ranger chuckled, a dry, rattling sound that sent shivers down their spines.
Don't you recognize me? I am the one who waits for you all. I am the end of every story. I am death.
He raised his hand, and in his grasp they saw it. A scythe, its blade gleaming with an unnatural light. The blade pulsed with a cold, malevolent energy, and they knew, with a certainty that chilled them to their very souls, that this was no ordinary weapon. This was an instrument of finality, of endings. The teens understood. They had stumbled into a realm beyond human comprehension, a place where the natural order was twisted and distorted. They had seen their own deaths reflected back at them, a chilling realization. Something had killed them all, and now Death himself had come to claim them.
There's no way out, is there?
No! This is it!
I guess we just have to accept it.
They closed their eyes, accepting the inevitable. There was no fighting it, no escaping the cold embrace of the Reaper. Their last thoughts were of regret, of lives unlived, of adventures cut tragically short. The forest stood silent, the whispers of the wind a mournful dirge for the souls lost within its depths. The ranger, his true form now revealed, vanished into the night, his laughter echoing through the trees, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurked at the heart of Knockboom Creek. The campsite remained, a testament to the horrors that unfolded within its confines, a silent warning to those who dared to venture too far into the embrace of the wild. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. Excitement crackled in the air as three teenagers, Riley, Lily, and Dominic, hiked deeper into Knockboom Creek. Laughter echoed through the trees, their backpacks laden with supplies for a weekend camping trip. They had been planning this adventure for months, eager to escape the confines of their small town and embrace the freedom of the wilderness.
This is gonna be epic, guys. We've been talking about this for so long.
As they set out down the path, a park ranger stepped out from the woods behind them. He watched as they walked deeper and deeper in, and he smiled. And so the legend of Knockboom Creek lived on, whispered around campfires and shared in hushed tones, a tale of adventure and terror, of the fragility of life and the inevitability of death. A reminder that some places are best left undisturbed, some secrets better left buried, for in the heart of the wild ancient forces stir, and sometimes the price of adventure is paid in blood. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and come back for more tales from Knockboom Creek.